Hi, I'm Clark, one of the co-founders at Novela, and I'm very excited to share our latest product with you today. This is our AI marketing simulation, where we're placing students in the role of a B2B marketing director. They have to plan a 90-day campaign, they have $150,000 to spend, and a clear target of 40% ROI to get in return. Now, we're putting them into the modern working world here, where they have an AI co-pilot with access to internal company data, but we're using that to develop really core AI skills and critical thinking skills too. So the first thing they do, as always with Novela, is story based, right? So they're welcome to the company, they hear a bit about their background, their target market, and so on. I'll just dive in, because in this video, give you a bit of a whistle-stop tour of the interface. I'm going to be digging in to individual features in subsequent videos, so watch out for those. But in this one, I just want to show you a brief overview of everything that they can do. So the first stage is define your audience, right? Targeting is fundamental, right? Don't get these foundations right and the rest of your campaign will fail. So it's hard for a user, right? A student here is going to think, how can I possibly know this information? Well, the Copilot is here to help them. It has access to a lot of company documents and data from historical performance, but not all of these documents are that relevant, right? So if you think about an enterprise Copilot, it has access to everything, which is great, but what if it cites sources that aren't relevant to what you actually need to do? So the user needs to be very clear here about their question, what they're trying to get out of the information, and then they need to be able to critique the responses to see, is this relevant? Is this information I should be using, or should I actually ignore it and ask for something from a different document? So there's a prompt engineering guide in here as well, which can be used to teach the basic principles of how to work with an LLM like this. And there are customer personas as well. So they can interview these, and I use this for customer psychology classes as well. They can dig into this to decide who is the persona that I should target here. And they can come back and ask them more questions the whole way through. So let's assume we've made our targeting choices. I will dig into that in a later video. We'll jump to stage 2, which is the budget. So they have $150,000 to spend here. And this is a really difficult task for any marketer, right? And it's fundamental, deciding where you're going to place your bets, how you're going to set up this sort of portfolio, I suppose, this cross-channel strategy to deliver results, because we need to build awareness so that our conversion activity performs better at the bottom of the funnel. So we're teaching a lot of marketing concepts here as well as the AI skills that we're developing. Again, there is a lot of data that will help them here. If they can ask the right questions, there are research documents within this company that will help them very, very clearly. So precise questions are the name of the game here. I found it difficult to teach the prompt engineering in a class when there's no incentive and there's no impact. And I've seen a lot of lazy work going on in there. Here, if they don't ask the right questions, they won't have a clue what to do in the bottom half here. And why should they care? Well, their grade often depends on it, right? So there's an incentive to think carefully about those questions. They need to decide as well, do I want to spend money on LinkedIn, display, events, retargeting, or normally a blend of the four, but where do I shift that balance? And that should shift as they work their way through the funnel, moving downwards. But getting into the detail here a little bit too much, so I'll move forward and just show you the final stage of the campaign setup, which is building their ads. This will be familiar if you've seen things like Performance Max and Advantage Plus and LinkedIn Accelerate. You're choosing your assets for each channel and working with the AI as well to create your text copy. Now you're choosing options here, which the AI will really rotate to find the best version, and we'll see in the results how this works out. But the AI, again, is not magic, right? It will give you 10 options, but the student still has to use their brain to think of the 3 that are going to be best, and this will have a knock-on impact on their performance too. So the better the prompt, the better the options that they'll have, so they'll increase their chances of finding good ones. But they still need to really think about the audience, what stage of the funnel they're in, the channel they'll be on, the industry they work in, and how they're going to persuade them, right? The AI doesn't magically do that for you. So let's save and review and go live, because there's one more thing I want to show you. Try my best to keep this one succinct. I'll go into more detail in further ones. So now I can see my results and see that I didn't do particularly well, so my students would enjoy that, but still positive ROI, not too bad, something to build on. I can dig into this and have a look at more of my marketing metrics to see where I did well or badly. And then I can see my funnel to see how things moved through. So 0.37% moved from this stage to that. Now this is quite complex, and that's why this has just popped up on the left. We have a very detailed co-pilot that is trained on a lot of digital marketing data and now knows the user's performance and the strategy that they put in place. So it can give them direct feedback on what worked and what didn't. So retargeting was great. My LinkedIn ads did very well, and some of my text was great. I didn't do very well on industry events. I think I probably underinvested, right? You can't just spend a couple of grand on industry events and get a massive ROI. You have to go big on those. Budget balance, so it wasn't optimal. I didn't spend enough on awareness actually, and targeting more than one company size. So things like that will come up within these results. Now they can ask that bot anything. So here they can ask about their text combinations, and it knows all the benchmarks as well. So it can tell them your LinkedIn ads are 0.5% below the average. Here's something you should do about that. So they then have something to work on when they go back and play the simulation again. That'll do me for this first one. This is just a whistle-stop tour of the interface. Looking forward to seeing you for the subsequent videos.